entering the competition at the position. But Julian Edelman missed out yet again, which means the reigning Super Bowl MVP and famed future Hall of Famer has still never made a Pro Bowl in his career. Which is crazy to think about. Former Patriot James Harrison back with us. James, no Brady, no players from New England's offense. Did they get it right?
I believe they got it right because it's in comparison to the person that's playing their position that they're going up against. And when you're looking at Tom Brady and what you're used to seeing him do, he's nowhere near that right now. And the guys that are playing are doing better numbers and, in some cases, wins and losses than he is doing. The position for, receiver, like I said, that's another hard position, especially when you look at Edelman and most people consider him.
View him a slot.
Right. Most people consider him a slot, a positional receiver, not really your all-star number one, receiver. So it's not surprising the offensive line is what it is, and no one's going from there. And when you look at the running back position, what you got Chubb, Ingram, and Henry that are the Pro Bowl running backs. So putting all that into it and what they're going up against, I'm not surprised.
No, not even close. Not even close. Brady, I mean, think about it. Let this sink in for just a second. There have only been 7 quarterbacks to start every single game. Brady is one of 7 quarterbacks. My homeboy didn't start every game. 7. And he couldn't make it. I'm not sure he's the first alternate. Josh Allen might be the first alternate. He had no case for the 3 that made it. He had 0 case. And I've been telling you all year, but Skip Bayless won't tell you. Did you know Tom Brady is 20th in QBR? Skip loved that stat. He told you.
Right.
He loved
that one.
He's 20th.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers 17, Tom Brady 20th.
Oh!
Keep that in perspective. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But Brady is 29th in completion percentage, 28th in yards per attempt. Ooh! And Julian Edelman, and people is considering Julian for the Pro Bowl, considering what his quarterback has been giving him. Now, mind you, they have the #1 defense in football, #1 in takeaways. They're starting on short fields. And this is what Brady put up there. You talk about the Pro Bowl? Pro Bowl? Pro Bowl? And my best Jim Moore senior voice. Skip Bayless, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Now, I'm surprised. Look,
I didn't even talk yet.
Nope.
I think what should I be ashamed for?
For the defense, I'm a little surprised Devin McCourty didn't make it because I thought he had an unbelievable. I thought he had an unbelievable season. But Gilmore, obviously Gilmore, he's probably gonna be the defensive player of the year. Zeus Hightower, okay. But other than that, but see, Skip, the thing that made Brady Brady, that he was always able to take lesser tier talent and elevate it. Now he can't do that. And everybody make all these excuses. But the thing that you gave him credit for, now you're demonizing the players that are around him for. Because you never gave those players the credit that they rightfully deserve. And when I told you those players are better than you think, they might not be Julio, or they might not be a top-tier running back. But for that system and what they need, they're perfect. But you didn't want to hear that. Now you're starting to see, as he's aged and his play has slipped, and he can't elevate those guys. Wow, it look a mess out there. They got no claim. Because what was the last offensive lineman they have make the Pro Bowl? Logan Mankins? I think that was the last guy. They've really never had a whole lot of offensive linemen, Skip, that made the Pro Bowl. I think Logan Mankins, if I don't quote me, but I think he was the last one to make it, and he consistently made it. And Coach Belichick let him walk out the door. Last true defensive lineman was probably Seymour. The last outside linebacker was Chandler Jones, and he traded him. So the thing that we applauded Brady for, being able to elevate players and to get by, is the thing now that he can't elevate those, and we're starting to see what they look like when he can't.
So I completely agree. There was 0 chance of Tom Brady making the Pro Bowl.
Did he deserve it?
No.
Okay.
Zero. Less than 0 chance.
Okay.
So you keep saying I should be ashamed of myself.
Okay.
No, I shouldn't.
I thought,
because you've been telling me he's been playing great all year. You've been telling me, Jenny and I've been
made a bunch of plays that he didn't deserve to make because somehow Bill Belichick has allowed Tom Brady's supporting cast to slip all the way to the bottom of the NFL. Nobody has a worse supporting cast than Tom Brady. I dare you to show me anybody out there who has a worse supporting cast. Nobody has worse protection than Tom Brady. Nobody's offensive line opens fewer holes than the Patriots have consistently opened all year because Sony Michel is a shadow of himself. He managed 89 yards rushing against the 29th ranked rush defense in Cincinnati, and that was his second highest total of the year. And I was like, wow, they got a little running game today, right?
They did.
And I had to watch, by the way, speaking of Belichick's vaunted defense, I had to watch the Bengals go up and down the field early in the game and march to a 10-7 lead because they could not tackle Joe Mixon. He ran wild on that defense just the way Nick Chubb ran wild and just the way Lamar and company ran wild on that defense. Yeah. So I'm saying, really? Is that all you got?
That's surprising.
Okay, all right, that's all you got. So I told you that Dak's receivers are first in drops. Tom Brady's receivers are number 2 in drops in the National Football League. His protection is absolutely the worst. He's got less than 2 seconds before both sides are crushing in on him. He is obviously not mobile because he wasn't mobile when he was 22 years of age because he ran the sorriest looking 40-yard dash in the history of the combine. Yeah. So don't say, oh, he's lost his mobility. He didn't have any to lose.
Jenny, hold on, Jenny.
What?
Remember what he said at the beginning of the year?
Which part?
He's faster now than he was.
He did say he's faster.
Oh, he said he's faster.
He does look like he's running better.
He actually took off the other day against Kansas City. That was he ran 17 yards.
That's a move.
I mean, I was like, where did that come from? That looked pretty good. That's pliability on display.
Is he running better, in your opinion, James? You've
From
been
what
around him.
I seen in that actual 40 run that he had,
Well,
yeah.
Okay. A little bit better.
Every other quarterback would have scored on that run, but Brady got 17 yards.
Not every other quarterback. You telling me, what's the name?
Maybe Phillip
Jameis
Rivers.
Winston would've made that
Maybe
one.
Phillip Rivers. Yeah, Jameis would have got in. Phillip Rivers might not have scored because he got on knee braces on both legs. But everybody else would have got in.
Okay, now to Tom's receivers. It's pathetic what Belichick has allowed to happen with their receiving core because he went and got Mohamed Sanu, who can't separate from me. He looks like he's got the proverbial piano on his back right now. And Julian Edelman is just beat all to hell. And he probably shouldn't be playing. He probably shouldn't have played Sunday in Cincinnati, but we know he's got a big heart, so he sucks it up and goes out there and scratches and claws.
He does.
And what did he catch? 2 balls for 9 yards, and they threw him 5, and he looked pathetic even trying to run his little slot routes.
He looked hurt. For the first time, he looked hurt.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's looking like, it's wearing.
It's
Yeah.
wearing on
It does.
him. Because
tired.
remember he's a high collision little slot receiver, and he's not very big to start with, but every catch he makes, somebody's going to hit him from one side or maybe both sides. Am I right?
Yep.
Because it's all in the middle of the field. Boom, 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 right?
Yep.
And now they say he's got a bad knee and a bad shoulder, and he had cracked ribs earlier, and he's just...
You don't know how to fall because everything
Right,
hurt.
everything.
Okay, so he's hurt, and I thought Brady took as much punishment at Cincinnati as he's taken all year.
Yeah.
So if you can't separate and you have no deep threat, so the defensive coordinators week to week, they're just saying, what am I supposed to be worried about here? Let's just press everybody.
Yeah.
Let's blitz and press. Let's get up in their faces and take them right off the line of scrimmage because they can't run past us.
And the thing, what you're starting to see, Skip, is that you see more and more gadget plays, the trick plays, the screen, the throwbacks, and all this. And you see Coach Belichick taking more chances on special teams because he knows that his offense can't drive like they once could. The 80-yard drive, they might have one in them because you remember they opened the game against Cincinnati. And then after that, everything was like, if the defense didn't get turnovers and set them up on short fields, they wasn't moving the ball.
Right? They have to trick you. They're going to have to either run a trick play or a trick kind of screen, and they're really good at screening.
They are very good
That's the only way they get people loose.
Right.
Get James White in space, right? And I'm not saying he runs 4.2, but he's got a little scat.
He got a little wiggle.
Okay.
But I told y'all, Chris Hogan was better.
You know
than
what?
thought.
I agree. So it's laughable.
As good as
There's no candidate. I can't make a case for Julian making the Pro Bowl. He's never made.
But you know what, Skip? He has a case. This was maybe his strongest case because when you look at it, he and Jarvis are very, very close. Now, Jarvis has a little more high yards per catch, but they're very, very close. And I think that's people looking at Jarvis like, hold on, look at their record.
I know. I would agree with that.
Like, ain't like he pulled up numbers like he put up Julio numbers or anything like that. But